All right, guys, promised you another very special guest. Had a number one just a couple weeks ago with Right Now Kinda Girl. Billie Jo Jones is her name. Got a brand new single, Some Girls Don't Cry. Like the sound of that one even better. Billie Jo, it's an honor to have a chance to visit with you. Thanks so much for your time today.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here talking with you today. And I'm still excited. I'm still pumped, even though it was a few weeks ago, my first ever number one in Texas. That feels amazing to say. And then I've got my brand new one just came out. It's only been out, I think, about a week and a half. And it's already killing it on all the charts. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
And how much have things changed over the last couple weeks? You get a number one, and people start saying your name a little bit more. And how much did that open maybe a few doors in Nashville as well? I know that this one is being released a little bit more nationally as well.
Yes, yeah, this is my first ever like national release. Like we released it Texas, but we also released it nationally. So it climbed the charts on Music Row. I think it got up to like 31.
Wow.
On Music Row. I think it's still climbing on that one. I don't remember. And then we were at number one on CDX True Indie 2 weeks in a row, which was just crazy to me. But it's been really cool. And I truly feel like I love the Texas scene, but I also want to. I mean, I'm kind of trying to get more over into the mainstream Nashville side of things. But I think it helps, like having that number one in Texas. We were, number one in the Billboard magazine. So that catches people's attention for sure. So I love working all of the charts. It's going really good.
And what has been maybe what has been the farthest request you've had? I mean, the Texas regional, and I know you've got a few states that reach with the Texas regional charts, but as people saw that number one, where has been the farthest reaching request you've had since then?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I've kind of been all over the place. So we did a radio tour a couple weeks ago, and we went all the way from Texas up to Wisconsin.
Wow.
So they're for sure playing it over in Wisconsin. I know they're playing it in West Virginia and Ohio, and I don't know. It's all over the place. And you can't ask me anything about maps because I couldn't even tell you which one of those places is like further like from me. I don't even know what north and south is most of the time, but
it's left or right, right?
I know, yeah, one of the two. But yeah, it's getting out there. It's been crazy because my brother is he's a truck driver, so he's kind of all over the place, and he said he was going through Kansas one day and it was like, wait, like that's my sister's voice, and he like turned it up and they were like playing me on the radio. So that's been pretty cool to see.
How has the journey been so far? I mean, a lot of folks see the name pop up with a number one, they're like, wow, it's a brand new artist, but it's not really quite that quick though, is it, Billie Jo?
No, it's not. It's been funny because there's a lot of people that don't know me. They've never heard of me. And I've been at this for a little bit. And so it's been funny to see, man, this brand new artist just came out of nowhere, And I'm like, I'm not brand new. I mean, I've been here for a little bit, but I kind of compare it to the Lainey Wilson story because she literally worked her tail off for 10 years, living in Nashville and in a trailer, and everyone thought she just came out of nowhere, but I followed her from the beginning, close to the beginning.
Right.
And it's funny to see how people are like, oh wow, she just came out of nowhere, and I'm like, no, we didn't come out of nowhere. We're just like, finally getting out there and getting our names out there more. So I love it though. I think it's cool. I'm totally okay with people thinking that I'm a new artist, so I'm gonna take it.
That's right. I kind of reminds me of the song Zane Williams had. I think he had a song about 10 years ago, Overnight Success, that he had.
I love Zane. Oh my gosh, I love him.
But that song I think just wraps it all up because everybody just thinks, overnight success. Well, yeah, it's about a 10-year overnight success.
Yes, exactly.
Now, Billie Jo, who's been the most instrumental in your corner over that span? Because I know that span is hard. There's a lot of times that you got to question, am I doing the right thing? Who kept you going? Who kept you believing that Billie Jo had something special to get out there?
Oh man, it's so hard because there's so many people in my life that have, been there from the beginning or came and supported me at shows. But I think my two biggest cheerleaders are my grandparents. They are 89 and 85. And they raised me since I was one. And so it's been cool here lately to like see everything like coming together. Like there's so much stuff happening and it's kind of happening really fast. And it's been cool because I posted a video on my Facebook a couple weeks ago of my grandparents sitting in the living room. I was like 3 or 4 years old and I was singing them, Billy Ray Cyrus and Shania Twain and the Dixie Chicks. And they had to like cheer for me and clap for me and stuff. So it's been cool to kind of see from going, from that being 3 and 4 years old to where I am now in my career, and all the amazing things that they've gotten to be a part of as well. And I don't know, it's kind of surreal just kind of going back and looking at those memories and seeing how hard that they worked, whenever I was in high school and driving me around to make all these shows and different, festivals and little operas I used to play, and I grew up in church singing. And now I'm, playing bigger things. We just had my pre-album release party was in Lindale, and I remember playing that same venue a few years ago with 30 people there, maybe.
Right.
And then I've played there a few times, but this was my first time back for this year in 2024, and we packed it out with almost 300 people. In that venue technically only holds like 250,
Right.
like 250 to 300. So we packed it out, and it was amazing. So it's been cool to see, where I started, and my grandparents have always been there for me. They've always believed in me. They've told me from the beginning that they're going to see me on the Grand Ole Opry one day. So that's my next step. That's my big goal. I'm trying to reach, because they are 89 and 85. So I want to make that happen for them soon. But I think there's some stuff in the works on that, but we'll see. But yeah, my grandparents are definitely the ones that have been there for me and pushed me the whole time, because they just knew they saw something in their little girl and are so proud of me. So.
That's cool. Now, when I saw the release come across, it was so funny. I think when we were texting, I mentioned your PR team and how well I've known everybody on your PR team for several years. And it was funny when I reached out to Lynn and she's like, oh, well, and she tried to tell me about you. I was like, well, I think me and Billie Jo have actually been connected on Facebook for a minute. And so I went back and I was looking and I was like, yeah, we've known each other on Facebook for a minute, but and have followed you and seen you growing as well, and to see that growth and now trying to do that national thing. How much goal changing as of late, especially, I mean, has it changed a lot over the last month or two for you?
I feel like it's kind of been, I don't know. So when I started out the music thing, like I wanted to be better than I was the day before. I wanted to play a bigger venue. I wanted to, grow a bigger crowd. I always wanted to go like the song Right Now Kind of Girl. I'm right now kind of girl. Like I want things to happen right now. So my goal was to just kind of always to do better, to grow in my music and to grow as an artist. And going from just having my sights on Texas, being a Texas artist. And then when I got in the hands of Get Joe Records, which they are in Texas, but also our connections are in Nashville. So I'm working with Dolly Parton's producer in Nashville for the last year and a half. So I think it's really been in my mind since I started working with them, like, hey, we can do this. Like we can do this, mainstream side of things. And so that's really where our focus has been for the past year and a half, I think. It's kind of been a little bit of a slow process. We had to wait because Dolly was recording her rock album, so my producer wasn't available. So I had to like wait on that, which is totally fine. I'll wait for Dolly Parton any day of the week when she's recording. But yeah, it's gone amazing, and I think going from. I mean, I've always wanted to be a big star, but realistically, I wasn't sure if that could happen, or if that would happen. I mean, as an artist, you think that you have those kind of self-doubts and stuff. But I think really the past year, it's clear. It's very evident that I can do this and we're going to make it happen. And I'm not the kind of person that can be told no. And if I am, I'm going to find another way around it and get in through another door. So we're definitely still continuing to work and grow and write better songs and make better music. So I think that's what it's all about, just putting in the hard work.
And there's so many iconic places to play in Texas. And for you, which place was it that you played that you were finally like, okay, I'm here? Which place made you think, okay, Billie Jo, you're here?
Man, that's tough. There's so many great venues in Texas. I gosh, I don't know. Um, I've gotten to play a couple songs like at Billy Bob's. I haven't gotten to have my own show there yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the main goals. But I think, even being able just to be on that stage at Billy Bob's is pretty
Yeah.
cool. It's pretty iconic. I do have goals for I think Green Hall would be one of those places that I'm like, this is it. Like this was it. This is cool. Like that's one of the coolest spots in Texas, I think. I love the dance halls. I think one of the bigger ones, it's called Southern Junction. It's in Rockwall,
Mm-hmm.
Texas. And I've played there a few times, but I think it was my first time was last year or a couple of years ago to play there. But it was special because my dad used to sneak me in there when I was like 16 years old. And he'd pay the band to like let me jump up there and sing a song. So it was cool to like headline there and have my own show there when I, been going there dancing since, I was a kid. So there's a lot of great venues in Texas, and there's still a lot that I haven't played that I've got my sights set on. So it's all about just conquering those goals that I've set for myself. So
Now I know you mentioned Lainey earlier. Who are the other artists out there, even songwriters that inspire you, that their music that they're writing, just you feel it? Who are those singer songwriters for you right now?
right, like right now, like and then like in this day, because like I think, well, for me, like starting out singing, like my biggest influences were Loretta Lynn,
Hmm.
Tammy Wynette, Ray Price, George Jones, Ray, all those. All the oldies but goodies is what I call them.
Right.
But I think today in this day, like Lainey Wilson is killing it. Trainee Anderson, I just got
Mm.
to write with her. She's the one that wrote Heart Like a Truck. I wrote with her at the Jack Ingram songwriter contest that I won, or didn't win, but I was top 8 in recently. Songwriting wise, I've always loved. I love the story. I love the stories. I love storytelling. I love personal experiences. Walt Wilkins is amazing. Like I've been a big fan of his for several years now. But I mean, there's so many singer songwriters out there that I could name that I just love it. I love it. I think Caitlin Butts is killing it.
Yeah.
There's a girl in Nashville that I followed. I found her on TikTok a while back. May Estes is one of the most talented, singer songwriters that I've seen. She's killing it right now in Nashville. So there's a lot. I mean, I love Morgan Wallen stuff
Yeah.
that he puts out. I love Bailey Zimmerman is probably one of my favorites that I because I'm not a pop country singer. I'm more of the
Hmm.
traditional, but I do a traditional modern type thing. But
Hmm.
Bailey Zimmerman's songs are, gosh, like the words and
Yeah.
I feel them. I don't know, when I can feel something, that's what I love. So there's a ton out there.
Now, for you personally, what inspires you to write? What makes you take that little voice note? What is it that you see that inspires you personally?
So I'm not the best at like making up stories or like making up songs. Like if I haven't lived it or, seen one of my friends go through it, or something like that. So I'm definitely more of like a personal, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. I'm better at writing about things that I've lived through or things that I've experienced. So a lot of the songs that that are coming out on my album this summer, I've lived through it or I have seen someone else live through it. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like yesterday, I started humming this melody in my head and I was like, man, that's kind of cool. And then I threw down a few words or whatever and came up with a verse and chorus. And then now I'm stuck. So it's not like it doesn't come easy. Like I have to work really hard on the writing side, but sometimes stuff will just come right out. Like the song I wrote about my real mom and my grandma. It's coming out on my album this summer. It's called She Did. And I sat right there on my floor and cried and wrote this song. And it took me like 30 minutes, and that usually doesn't happen. So it really just kind of depends on the day and how I'm feeling and if someone can say something. But I love co-writing. I'm pretty good at taking what someone else has written and fixing it, or like, fixing the wording or the phrasing, and I'm good at the melody part of it. So I don't know. I guess it's just a roundabout way of saying I don't really know. Sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. So
She said, sometimes I feel it, sometimes I don't.
exactly. Yeah. And there's sometimes I try and I'm like, no, I can't do it today. And I'll walk away from it because I'm not going to just sit there and, my life is so crazy busy as it is. Like I don't have time to just sit there and like try to force it. I guess it's just it's got to happen or it doesn't.
Now, the single "Some Girls Don't Cry," a great song for the summer, and I was checking the weather over the next couple of days. We're definitely in summer here in Southwest Oklahoma. 96, 95 degrees. I mean, this is a great song. Tell us how excited you are to have this one out there jamming around, like you said, all the way Ohio, West Virginia, and all that as well.
Yeah, so this song, I didn't write this one. I like wish that I would have wrote this one, but Lynn Snow, he owns 𝐂𝐿 Records. He wrote this song, and when I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, it's catchy, it's fun. I've been, kicking my full band shows off with this song because it's just so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
But this song is, I don't know, it's just you're packing up your stuff. He's leaving and you're not going to cry about it. You're just going to go out with your girlfriends and you're going to have a good time. And we made a music video to this song. I got to bring in several of my friends from Texas, and we all went to Nashville and filmed this music video. So we got to be at a really cool bar there in Nashville, and then we did a stretch like Hummer limousine thing. I don't know, it was
Nice.
cool. Like we were just in the limousine hanging out. Like it was so much fun. It, like you said, it's a fun, upbeat summer song. So I'm really glad that we picked this one to be my next release because it really is. It's a jam. It's a lot of fun.
Well, you talked about going through Nashville with your Texas friends. When you bring your Texas friends to Nashville, where's the first place you take them?
My all-time favorite place in Nashville is the Local. I'm all about the songwriting and the storytelling and all that stuff. So the Local is definitely my favorite. I'm not a Broadway girl. When you first go to Nashville, you just have to. You got to go downtown. You got to go to Broadway. But now it's like I don't even want to be there. Like I'm going to be there in August for one of my friends. She's doing a bachelorette party there, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to go to Broadway," and I'm just like, "Oh, yay! Like, love that." So I might sneak away and go by myself and go to some of the writers' rounds because I love that part. I love the writing. I love the storytelling and hearing the songs. I like Broadway every now and then, but it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy down there sometimes. So. But I'll do it for her.
There you go. Now, I love talking about Nashville and the people that you run into unaware. I was in Nashville. I think it was 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, waiting for another interview. Had a guitar on my back and was at Bongo Java. They're in the Omni. Waiting to do an interview out on their little porch. Well, I'm sitting down. This guy asked me about my guitar. We strike up a conversation. Turns out I developed a friendship with singer-songwriter Shane Miner that I had no idea that's who I was talking to. Who's
so crazy.
I know it happens all the time. How's that happened to you? Who's that happened with you for?
Man, I haven't really ran into I've opened for a lot of people. So I've got to meet a lot of, the really big artists. But I haven't really ran into anyone, I don't think, in Nashville whenever I was there. I mean, I've seen them from a distance or something, but I don't want to be the person that goes up and oh my gosh, hey, how are you? I'm such a big fan. I try to be cool. I want to be a good hang. You got to do that type of thing there. Now in Texas, I ran into Randy Rogers on the street. He was walking around the stockyards, and I didn't even spot him. My husband did, and he's more of a go-getter than I am. I'm just like, oh hey, like cool, he's there. And then my husband's like, hey Randy, how's it going, and like starts talking to him, like, this is my wife, she's a singer-songwriter here in Texas, whatever. So that it's happened to me, a few times in Texas, but
Yeah.
hasn't really happened in Nashville yet. I've gotten set up with a couple people. I got to be in the studio with Billy Ray Cyrus was recording a song, so that was cool. I got to meet him. So it's, I don't know, maybe I'll meet some more people while I'm there.
Right. Billy is a trip. Billy is a trip. That's for sure.
Oh my, he is something. Yeah, that was a good time. That was a fun time getting to watch him.
Now for you, after the single, after the summer, as we get into fall, what's your outlook as things cool down? And is the boot scooting pick up as it cools down?
Yeah, no, I think it does. And gosh, I don't know. We're releasing my first ever country album. This probably in August, I think. We're going to do a limited edition vinyl. We're going to have a pre-sale link for that coming out soon. It's going to be amazing. But I'm ready for that to come out. But I'm also like, we have so many songs on the album. And I'm not bragging, but I'm kind of bragging. Like, there's so many songs on that album that should be that should be released to radio. Like, it's probably going to take me 2 years to get all these songs out to radio, because several of them are radio hits, and we're already writing and recording my next album. So I'm actually going back to Nashville to record a couple of songs here in a few weeks. So I mean, I'm always looking for the next thing that's happening, and we've got a pretty good plan. We're still debating on what song we want to release after this one. So I don't know, maybe this one will go up and hit number one pretty quickly, and I can get another one out. Like, we're ready to go with another one as soon as we can. So
that's awesome. Now for you, the to be able to say that about an album as well. I mean, and how surreal is it for you to say, yeah, we're getting ready to head back to Nashville and start recording for the next album? I mean, how crazy is that?
Yeah, it's so crazy. If you'd have asked me 2 years ago, I'd have been like, I don't even know what I'm doing right now. Like, I don't know. Like, I took a couple of years off from radio. I didn't release anything to radio, and then we came out with Right Now Kind of Girl, and hit number one, and it climbed on CDX Mainstream and Music Row and all that stuff. And it was so surreal to see that, and I wasn't expecting that at all. I was like, I had goals. I was like, it'd be so cool to be top 40, I think, on like T3R. And then I was like, it'd be so cool to even make it into the top 100, on Music Row or Mainstream. And we did all of those things and passed all of them. So it was awesome. But it's cool to like sit here. Like, we wrote 3 songs this week, and they're probably going to be on the next album. Like, we're just, I don't know, we're on fire right now. It's going, I don't know, I guess it's like the energy is like, there's just been one thing after another, and like there's more stuff that we haven't even announced or released yet that we're going to be announcing. So it's like, I think people are seeing like it's taken off, and I've got a fire under me right now that's not going out anytime soon. So I'm excited.
Well,
super excited.
That is exciting, and it's exciting to see that light in your eyes too, Billie Jo.
Yeah.
And I always want to make sure and let our viewers, let our listeners know where to keep up with all of the activity, website, social media. I know you got to keep everybody updated on all those. Where's the best place for everybody to keep up with everything, Billie Jo?
Yeah, so you can go check out my website. It's BillieJoJones.com. It's BILLIEJO Jones.com. You can go check out all of my shows, pictures, videos, links to whatever you want to go see. I've got stuff out on, Apple Music and Spotify, YouTube. I do have a TikTok. I try to get on there sometimes. It's kind of hard for me to keep up with. There's just a lot going on there, and I'm so busy traveling and doing radio tours. We're going on another radio tour at the end of this month. and then another radio tour in July. So I'm kind of all over the place. So I try to get on there when I can, but definitely check out Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all that good stuff as well.
That's cool. Well, Billie Jo, it has been an honor to meet you face to face. We've been social media for a minute, but congratulations on the success of your recent number one. Congratulations on the upcoming success. I'm just going to go ahead and say it now. Billie Jo, excited to see where things are going for you, and look forward to seeing you again real soon, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.